everyone, welcome back to Herky the Cavalier's channel. My name is Mai, this is Herky, this is Milton, and welcome. We hope you're all doing very well, and I wanted to thank you for all the love and support on our latest video, which is the Herky versus Milton video. Can't believe how it's been well received, so thank you so much for all your sweet comments, and for sure I'll be making a part 2 since you all seem to be enjoying it so much. And something that's been really requested after I released that video is Herky's weight loss journey video. I mentioned that quickly in Herky versus Milton video about how Herky used to be quite larger and that now we have her weight under control and we're really happy with how she looks and how healthy she is, so thought this would be the perfect occasion to talk about it. So just to give you a bit of a context and maybe background as to why I want to make this video is that Herky was my first dog, and it happens that she's a Cavalier. I've always wanted this breed and I've learned a lot along the way having Herky for 4 years now, and her weight has definitely been fluctuating a lot, and I wanted to address this because apparently Cavaliers can gain weight very easily, and I had to learn this the hard way. I didn't know about it before. I wasn't as implicated or as deep as I am now in the Cavalier community to know that they can gain weight easily, and I've learned a lot about their nutrition, so that's why I wanted to share some of my insight with you. I'm gonna give you a bit of an idea of Herky's weight growth and chart. Basically, what I have recorded right now in front of me is that when we went to visit the vet with her at 11 weeks old, she weighed in at 4.75 pounds. That's pretty normal for a puppy, but considering Milton's weight at the same age, I would say Herky was definitely a larger puppy. But again, I didn't know, she was my first dog, so I was like, let's go along with it. I was told by the breeder that Herky would be about 14 to 16 pounds, so that's why I thought it was still normal. Then fast forward to 14 weeks, so this is 3 weeks later, she weighed in at 8.45 pounds. So she close to double her weight within 3 weeks. And again, it's normal when your puppy is growing that the growth chart is pretty quick. But at that point I was like, oh wow, she's almost full grown already, naive as I am, but you know. And then fast forward to December when she was about 7 months old. We were about to go on vacation and we left Herky at home, and when we weighed her, she weighed in at 17 pounds at 7 months already. So then I freaked out a bit because remember, the breeder told me she was going to be between 14 to 16 pounds. So I freaked out a little. I called the breeder and I said, she's already 17 pounds. What should I do? Should I stop the puppy food? Should I transition already into adult food? What should I do? Because she's already so big. And the breeder said no. It's important to stay on puppy food until 10 months because they need all these nutrients, they need all the fat to grow, not only physically, but their organs, their brain, everything needs to grow as well. So I was like, okay, that makes sense, whatever. Plus, the vet never told me she was overweight. The vet was always happy with how she looked, so I wasn't very concerned. And then when she was about 1.5 years, so December of 2015, she weighed in at about 23 pounds. And honestly, at that point, we had already switched to adult food, but I was starting to notice that she was kind of big, and people around me were telling me that she was large, and obviously I didn't want to listen to them because mean comments, honestly, I don't receive them well, especially when it's critiquing my dog. I don't like when people just say like, your dog's fat, did you know? And that's just mean, so I kind of ignored those comments. Plus, my husband and I both thought that she was healthy and happy, so it was okay. But when we went to one of our first Cavalier meetups in December of 2015, we noticed how large Herky was compared to all the other dogs. Like honestly, she was like a big potato beside everyone, and that's why I really realized that like she's too big, you know, like she might be actually fat. And Herky was 23 pounds for like a long time, I would say. We just thought that she was fluffy, she was curvaceous, she was on, of course we knew she was on the larger side of Cavaliers, but never to the point that we said she has to lose weight, you know. We always thought she was happy, she was always energetic, and she was fine. But it was really when I started hanging out and seeing more Cavaliers that I realized that she had to lose a bit of weight. So that was kind of the turn point moment for me when I was like, okay, you know, we need to get her on a stricter diet and get her to lose weight. And it was a struggle, honestly. I would say it took like over 1.5 years, and now she weighs between 17 to 18 pounds, so maybe 17.5 pounds, which is perfect. It's a really good weight for her. She's healthy, we can still feel her spine, we can feel her ribs comfortably, and I feel like that's a really healthy weight for her. But in between that 1.5 year mark and now, there was another incident that made her gain so much weight, and it took such a long time to get it off. So basically, it's when we had Ogi and Nettie back then, and we left somewhere like for dinner or something, and when we came back, oh yeah, we also had the cat, the white cat, Tibu, and we went for dinner somewhere, and when we came back, the bag of cat food was teared open, and it looked like it was opened by a dog, and Ogi and Herky just looked so guilty. They just looked like they did something wrong, so obviously they probably ate almost the entire bag of food. And I swear I weighed Herky after, and she was 2 pounds heavier after just that pigging out meal. So that was another 2 pounds. Like by then she had probably dropped to like 20-21 pounds, but she legit came up 2 pounds, and it took so long to get that weight off. It's not as simple as like she poops it out and it's gone. That was actually another challenge in her weight loss journey, because that took another 6 months to get that off. So what we did basically is that we just played around with different foods. We also relied a lot on portion control, controlling her treats, and exercising. There's no magic formula, honestly. It's the same with humans. If you want to lose weight, it's a combination of exercise and diet, according to me. And that's what we did with her. So I'm gonna go a bit backwards and tell you all the foods she had. She basically went from Royal Canin puppy formula up until she was about 1 year old. And then we went on nutrients after, because we saw that brand at a local pet store that we go to, and it seemed like it was a good food, so we went with that one. We tried both their original and grain-free formula. Then I feel like that wasn't really working for us, so we started being more active on YouTube. So clearly there's other brands that reach out to us that send us food, so that's where we tried also Pulsar, which is also grain-free. It has peas in it instead of starches. And then after that, I wanted to upgrade her food again to something better quality, so that's when we started eating Origin. And Origin is known to be one of the best brands of kibble for dog. But then there was always the idea of raw feeding that kept in the back of my mind, and I wanted to try it. There was a lot of Cavaliers in the community that use raw feeding, but honestly I don't have that much freezer space. I wasn't sold on it, so that's why I decided to go on the freeze-dried raw food. And it's a food locally made here in Quebec where we live, and it's Canisource Grand Cru. I get a lot of questions about what we feed them, and now we feed them that. We feed them a combination of that dehydrated raw and Origin. I feel like it's a good balance. They're super happy with it, and honestly when we started that dehydrated raw food, it made such a difference in how they look. Honestly, like it feels like Herky just shredded her fat so fast. Like she's super ripped now, she's super lean, and I feel like it has a lot to do with that diet. So I'm a strong believer of portion control and the quality of food that you give your dog. Honestly, a big factor also that made Herky lose so much weight is that we cut down her food a lot. She used to eat maybe 1.25 cups per day approximately, and we cut it down to literally 3/4 cup per day. And that's fine, because although they seem like they're always hungry and the labels indicate something, you can always adjust that according to your dog. If your dog is leaner, more active, you can feed him more. If your dog is on the heavier side and doesn't exercise much, just cut down the food. They're fine. Like, they're not gonna die, they're not gonna starve. Obviously they're gonna act starved all the time like these do. They always want to get fed, but they're fine, and they do get all the nutrients they need, all the protein that they need per day. Also, what's really important is the treats. We also made a big change in treats, and going from giving them anything really treat-wise to giving them simple ingredient treats. So if you look at some treats, they have so many, even some dog treats even have salt and sugar in them. That's so not good for them. Just check the labels of your treats and make sure that it's a simple list of ingredients, usually just liver or just dehydrated chicken or just any sort of dehydrated meat. That's so much better than giving them stuff that are filled with flour, with molasses, with sugar, with all those sorts of stuff are in dog food. So when they eat all that junk multiple times in a day, that can contribute to their weight gain. So those are things that helped us a lot. Also exercise. As you know, we have winter here in Canada, and of course in the winter we don't exercise them as much because it's just too cold here. But in the summer we really do make the effort to take them on long walks. They get about an hour to an hour and a half per day when it's nice outside. When it's rainy, they don't get it, but we try to exercise them a lot. So that controls the weight, and also it's really good for their little hearts. So that's pretty much a roundup of how we did it for Herky. So remember that my top tips would be good quality foods. For me personally, it was dehydrated raw that made the biggest difference. Also portion control, watch out for bad treats, and exercise. I feel like the combination of all that really made a difference in how Herky looks today. She feels great, she looks lean, she looks healthy, she's happy. So I'm really happy that we were able to get her on a healthier weight. Also, just a side note that I wanted to mention is that the vet never told us that Herky was overweight, and we still see her and I still trust her, but I just mean to tell you that sometimes the vet doesn't know a certain breed as well as you know them. You know your dog, and I mean, if you want him to lose a couple pounds, then feel free. It's just going to be healthier for them. It's going to be easier on their hearts, so you'll be able to be the best judge of that. So if you have any questions, by all means, please leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer any concerns or questions you may have. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and thank you so much for watching. We love you, and we'll see you soon. Bye!